Welcome to the very first Retire with Alpha special edition. Every now and then I'll step outside our main 22 video series for a standalone lesson on something foundational. And this one is overdue. As the series has grown, I realized I jumped straight into the strategy, assuming everyone already knew what an option actually is. So today we fix that right at the root. If you've ever heard people talk about options and felt like they were speaking a foreign language, calls, puts, strikes, premiums, this video is for you. Today we're going all the way back to the beginning. No jargon, no assumptions, no prior experience needed. And let me be clear about why we're doing this. On this channel, we're not trading options for the thrill of it. We use them for one job: building an extra income stream in retirement. Most people buy options to bet on a big move or to protect what they own. We're going to sit on the other side of that trade and get paid for it. But none of that makes sense until you know what an option actually is. So that's where we start. By the time we're done, 10 minutes from now, you'll understand three things clearly: what an option actually is, what it really means to buy or sell one, and why options have a price in the first place. These are the foundations underneath everything else we do on this channel. So if the rest of our videos ever moved a little fast for you, start right here. Let's begin. One quick note before we start. Everything in this video is educational only. It is not financial advice. Options involve substantial risk. Please talk to a licensed professional before you make any investment decisions. So, what is an option really? Strip away the mystery and it's simply an agreement about a stock transaction. The right to buy it or sell it at a set price by a set date in the future. Here's an everyday version. You put a small deposit down to lock in the price of a car for the next month. You don't buy the car today, you buy the right to buy it later, perhaps at a better price than it's selling for by then, locked in now. Wouldn't that be an attractive option to have? Well, that is exactly what a stock option is. So a stock option gives you the right to buy or sell a stock at a set price in the future. And one detail to plant right here: each standard contract covers exactly 100 shares, not just one. Every option you buy or sell represents a full 100-share block. A small payment today for the right to that outcome. And that right costs a little, because nothing in life is free. That small payment is the option's price. And what's inside it is the most important idea on this whole channel. Every option is built from just two ingredients, and once you can spot them, the whole options chain stops looking intimidating. The first is the strike price. The agreed upon price in the contract, the price at which you'd buy or sell the stock if you chose to. The second is the expiration date, the deadline, the day the contract expires and the choice goes away. That's it, a strike and an expiration. Pick those two, plus whether it's a call or a put, which we'll cover next, and you've fully described any option that exists. There are exactly two types of options: calls and puts. Just two. A call is the right to buy a stock at the strike price. A put is the right to sell a stock at the strike price. That's the whole distinction. A simple way to keep them straight. With a call, you can call the stock to you. You can buy it. With a put, you can put the stock onto someone else. You can sell it. Call to buy, put to sell. Everything in the options world is some combination of those two simple building blocks. Master these two words and you're already past where most beginners get stuck. Now, what do most people actually do with these? Let's look at the two textbook uses, the ones nearly everyone learns first. The first is buying a call to profit from a stock going up. You buy an out-of-the-money call, one with a strike above today's price, for a relatively small amount of money. If the stock climbs, that cheap option can gain a lot in percentage terms. It's a low-cost, high leverage way to profit from a rise, and the most you can lose is what you paid. The second is buying a put as insurance. Say you own shares and you're nervous about a drop. You buy an out-of-the-money put for a small price. If the stock falls, the put gains value and cushions the loss, exactly like an insurance policy paying out. You pay a small premium for protection you hope you never need. Profit on the upside or insurance on the downside. That's the buying side. But notice, in both cases, someone is on the other side, selling those options. And that other seat is where things get interesting for us. For every option somebody buys, somebody else sold it. And the seller's experience is completely different from the buyer's. When you sell an option, you collect the premium upfront. It's yours immediately. In exchange, you take on an obligation. If the buyer's bet comes true, you have to deliver on the contract. Here's the mental picture that makes it click. As a seller, you are the insurance company. People pay you premiums to protect against or to profit from a big move. Most of the time, the big move doesn't happen, and you simply keep the premium, the same way an insurer collects premiums on thousands of policies, knowing most claims will never come. You're not gambling on a long shot, you're collecting steady payments for taking on risk that usually doesn't pay out. That is the seat our whole strategy is built around. Let's be precise about what selling actually involves, because there's a real obligation attached. When you sell a call, you collect the premium and you keep it, no matter what happens next. That cash is yours. In return, you take on an obligation. If the stock rises above your strike, you must sell your shares at that strike, a price now lower than the market, so you give up the gain above it. Sell a put instead, and the mirror applies. If the stock falls below your strike, you must buy shares at that strike, a price now higher than the market, so you take a loss buying higher than the stock is worth. That obligation is the seller's side of the bargain, and it's a manageable one, especially when, like us, you already hold a position to back it up. This is the difference between gambling and running a business. The buyer is paying for a chance. The seller is getting paid for providing it. Repeat that transaction in a disciplined way week after week, and those premiums stop being a bet and start being income. A steady stream you can build a retirement around. That's the whole shift this channel is about. So why does an option cost anything in the first place? Why would someone pay for one? Because a choice has value. The right to do something without the obligation to do it is genuinely worth money. And two things make that right more or less valuable: time and uncertainty. The more time left on the contract and the more the stock could swing, the more that choice is worth, because there's more opportunity for things to go the buyer's way. So the buyer pays for the chance that the market moves in their favor. The seller gets paid for providing that choice. But make no mistake, the seller takes on real risk to earn it. The premium you collect is fixed and limited. The move you're standing against is not. If the market swings far enough past your strike, the loss on your obligation can run larger than the premium you took in. That is exactly why selling options has to be run with rules and a backstop. It's a business, not a free lunch. That payment, the price of the option, is the premium, the fee for carrying that risk. And understanding what's inside that premium is the single most important idea in this entire strategy. Here's a first peek at what's inside that premium, because it sets up everything that follows. The price of an option is really two parts added together. One part is its real, tangible value right now, how much it's already worth if you acted today. The other part is pure time and maybe, the value of the chance that things move further in the buyer's favor before the deadline. I'm not going to take those two parts fully apart today. That's a whole video on its own, and it's the next one. For now, just plant the flag. An option's price is real value plus time and maybe. Remember those two buckets. So where do we fit into all of this? Our strategy uses calls on both sides, and it looks almost nothing like the bullish gambler from a few minutes ago. First, we buy a call, but not a cheap out-of-the-money call hoping for a quick jump. We buy one deep in the money. That means a strike price set well below the current stock price and with an expiration date well over a year out. We're not speculating, we're buying efficiency. A deep in the money call like that moves almost dollar for dollar with the stock. That sensitivity is a number traders call delta, and we'll get into it later, but it costs a fraction of what the shares would. So we get stock-like exposure for far less capital. We call that our boat. Second, we sell a call against it, a short-dated one, every week. That's us being the insurance company collecting premium. And we don't sell the same strike blindly, we adjust it to the market each week. We call that our rent. Same instrument the typical buyer reaches for, but used for the opposite reason. Most buyers go out of the money and short-term to chase a price jump. We buy deep in the money and long-dated to own efficiently, and we sell short-dated to earn. Foundation and income, not a prediction about which way the market goes next.
Let's bring it home.
You now know the foundations. An option is a contract, a strike, and an expiration. A call is the right to buy. A put is the right to sell. Buyers pay a premium for a choice. Sellers collect that premium for taking on an obligation. And the price itself is real value plus time and maybe. That's genuine options literacy. And it's the foundation retirees use to turn a portfolio they already own into an income stream. If you want to go even deeper on the fundamentals, our broker Tasty Trade has an excellent free lesson on what options are. I'll drop the link in the description below. And from here, the next step is the big one. We said an options price has two parts. In the next video, I'll show you which of those two parts actually finances your income and why almost everything else, including the stock price itself, is mostly just noise. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you there.